Islands are some of Earth's most amazing ecosystems. But how strange are islands in Earth's prehistory? Hello, I'm Professor Ginkgo, and welcome to Island Fauna Week! Island Fauna Week is a week where me and some other amazing content creators do literally anything with the wildlife on islands. So, why island life? Well, because of a few factors, islands, to put it lightly, are home of the world's most unique wildlife. First of these factors is called the Founders Effect. Founders Effect basically means the gene from the founders are isolated from the rest of the population. To show you how this works, let's use jelly beans as an example. Now, let's say that I have 10 jelly beans. Each of these jelly beans represents one different variation in each population. So, 6 of these are blue, and 4 of these are red. Now, let's move 3 of these on an island. If we were to move 3 of these on an island, statistically speaking, there's a good chance that we could have the 2 red and 1 blue. But, what if that the blue ones live more inland, and the red ones live more near the coast? Then it's more likely that it could be 3 red and no blue. Or maybe it could be inverse of what was suggested, with 2 red, 1 blue. Or it could maybe be all blue. The reason is that once the variation is selected, it is extremely hard for any new stuff to come in, which can result in island populations looking a lot different from the mainland population. When you talk about millions of years of evolution, that can lead to a lot of split between 2 species that should be closely related to each other, but aren't. And the second rule is called Foster's Rule, or some people call it the Island Rule. Though in general, it's more of a trend. Basically, larger animals start shrinking, and smaller animals get larger inside. It sounds a little weird, but it makes sense when you think about it. A large animal would need to consume a lot of food in order to keep on living, and in order to thrive, sometimes population sizes in general may be smaller. And small animals don't need to hide from predators, they can get a lot larger, taking advantage of better natures that they wouldn't find on the mainland. Now, nothing could be truer than on the island of modern-day Sicily and Malta. On this island, swans got massive, like Cygnus falcaroni, which is 1/3 larger than your average mute swan, and that just sounds terrifying. Like, man, if that was the temperate swans have today, that would be an absolute menace. And on the other end, we have Paleodoxion falcaroni, which was about 3 feet high on the shoulders, which is very, very cute. Like, look at him, he's so cute. Humans aren't immune to these factors either. The Indonesian Homo florensis, called the hobbit sometimes due to its small size, it stood a bit taller than a meter. It was surviving to only about 12,000 years ago. Some people think they actually inspired folktales about small people in the forest from the locals. They lived similar to their mainland counterparts actually too. They made tools, and they hunted another small species of small elephant, Stegodon. These factors didn't just guide the evolution of animals in the age of mammals, but animals in the Earth's prehistory as well. Historically, islands like Hawaii don't fossilize all too well, because once the volcano runs out, the island very slowly erodes away. These don't get a lot of fossils left over. But some islands like Madagascar, New Zealand, and my personal favorite, former island of Hateg in Romania, all have amazing fossils. Now, Hateg in particular is my personal favorite in part due to the absolute chat of a paleontologist who studied the island, Baranopska. Baranopska is a character I want to talk about in detail one of these days because, man, this did a lot of things in his life. Like, the dude was a founder of modern paleobiology. He went on a motorcycle trip across Europe with his gay lover. He spied for Austria-Hungary, and he was the first person ever to hijack a plane. Like, oh my god. That guy, absolutely crazy. But the reason I want to talk about him today was because of the fossils he took an interest in. You see, modern-day Romanian fossils are a lot smaller than they would be in other places. Baranowska, seeing the long-necked titanosaurs in his region, for some reason, only grow up to 6 meters long. Elsewhere, they grew up to 30. He named this the dinosaur Mogrosaurus, and he theorized it was this small because of limited resources on the island. Which is earlier with the island rule, turns out that his theory is actually pretty much correct. There are other animals on this island as well, like Baller, which is an early species of bird that looked a lot like a raptor. Due to being on an island, it lost its flight similar to other flight birds today like the kiwi and the kakapo. As for how he lived, well, kinda hard to say. Traditionally, it was thought to be a hunter, similar to Dromaeosaurus, due to having those double sickle claws you see there. But Italian paleontologist Andrea Cow suggested that the short limbs, the pubis, supported large intestines for eating plants. If we find a skull though, these are all speculation, but it could be interesting if true. Now, Islands don't get a lot of big carnivores in general, due to there being not a lot to eat, but Hateg did. This is Hastegopteryx, which had a potential wingspan of 12 meters long. The thing probably hunted like a stork, which doesn't sound super dangerous until you remember stork doesn't ask, can I eat this? But, can I fit this in my mouth? And a flying giraffe like this could eat anything on the island, and that made this thing terrifying. And we are talking, this thing ate baby dinosaurs. Not just baby dinosaurs, but like adult dinosaurs too. This thing would have been a menace for sure. Madagascar has had a long and very interesting history, with it being isolated since split off of India about 83 million years ago. Due to this, it had some pretty cool dinosaurs like Majungasaurus, which was one of the last to die off, the adorable pug-shaped Simosuchus, but let's be honest, it's mainly known for its lemurs. Lemurs are pretty cool and they're varied today, but until about 2,000 years ago, they were even weirder lemurs. Archaeoindris was a lemur the size of a gorilla and had a similar niche with ground browsing. Now, it's thought that there are a lot of spiky plants in Madagascar as a defensive structure against these large boys, and as for why they went extinct, well, megafauna, 2,000 years ago, you kind of do the math, we ate it. To contrast Madagascar's conquest of lemurs, New Zealand has always been an island of birds. Mammals not showing up with a fossil record outside of one random non-placental, non-marsupial mammal. That is, until humans arrived. Not to say they didn't have any really cool wildlife. As stated before, birds were king on this island, and the moa was one of the animals near the top. This thing could get up to 230 kilograms, and not much could take this thing down. This thing was the main browser of its time. And I say not much, however, because there was one that they feared that could take down these birds, and that was a Haas seagull. Although the largest estimated place wingspan at only 3 meters, it was pretty heavy, sitting at 15 kilos of maximum size. They're large enough to hunt their massive prey, and seeing how there is no animals with a niche to steal kills, one moa kill could last them pretty long. And that's just a few of my favorite extinct animals. I just love island life. I wanted to do this video as soon as I saw a theme coming out. I might do a few more recent ones in another video, but I want to get this one out as soon as the week is over. Also, big shout out to Blep35 for doing my model on Twitter. As you can see, I am a lot more expressive. I'm sorry if I seem a little stiff in this video, I'm still trying to figure out how to do a lot of the animations and stuff. But, please check me out on Twitch. Stream most days I have off, unless I'm doing a video. Thank you for watching. Go check out Island Fauna Week on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. See you later.